Day. It's Breastfeeding Week, which began on the 1st of August and will run all the way to the 7th of August. And to help us really discuss all these new things, including that story that we've ran, the possibility of a milk bank here in Nairobi, Kenya. My panel this morning is seated closer to me. I have James Njiru. He is the representative with United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. And on my far left, I have Gladys Mugambi, Head of Nutrition Ministry of Health. Thank you so much for your time this morning, both of you. It's lovely to have you here. Gladys, let me begin with you, generally speaking. This being the week where we sort of put a spotlight on breastfeeding, the importance of it, the challenges around it. Being a mom and also wearing a hat in the medical field, being the head of nutrition, what are some of the challenges that come with breastfeeding?
As much as breastfeeding is a natural thing, it's something that all mothers enjoy doing because they're happy to hold their babies when they are born. There are times mothers face challenges in terms of like working mothers. They find it difficult to maintain or continue breastfeeding because when they go back to work, they have to stay long hours, and then the milk, when it's full, they feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And after some time, the milk may disappear because they are not comfortable if they continuously suffer that problem. But that happens when a mother is working in an environment that is not conducive or giving her time to be able to go out, express the milk, because the milk fills the breasts and they feel uncomfortable. So they need to have a place where they can express the milk so that they can continue working. On the other hand, a mother who has a baby and is asked to go to work and is leaving the baby with somebody else, they sometimes would like to be sure that the baby is okay all the time. So psychologically, they want to be supported and having people even at home who can support them. Other than that, there are those physical issues that can occur. Engorgement, if the baby is not able to breastfeed, maybe when the child is ill. That happens when a mother has to stay a long time, the baby is not breastfeeding, and the milk is full. So there is engorgement. The breasts become a bit sensitive,
right,
and painful. And there are times also the nipples crack because maybe the baby is not placed on the breasts properly. But me being a nutritionist, I didn't face a lot of those challenges, but those are challenges I know most mothers face. And so we, as mothers, we need support from home and also at our workplace, right, so that we are able to continue breastfeeding.
All right, we are going to open our phone lines here in studio so you at home can be part of this conversation. The numbers will be at the bottom of your screen. Please feel free to call in, give your comments, give your questions, and so forth. Before I loop in James into the conversation, Gladys, tell us, why is it important to breastfeed? Because breastfeeding, then again, it's an experience that is different with every other woman. They may not share the same experience and story. And some women say, I will breastfeed, others choose not to breastfeed. So why is breastfeeding important?
Breastfeeding is important for both the mother and the baby. First of all, the baby requires that milk from the mother in order to survive,
right,
in order to grow well. And it's important that the mothers should know that it's not something that they can say, I cannot breastfeed, and yet they're able to. So it's the child's right, first of all, the only food for the baby, because a baby who has just been born cannot be given any other food. If you start giving water or other milks, then the baby is not able to, the baby will not grow, will not get the nutrients, and will not enjoy even the bonding with the mother. Breastfeeding is just beyond the feeding. It's also a way of making the child feel loved. It's you now create bonding between the mother and the baby. So babies who are left, taken away from their mothers, and they grow away from the mother, they tend not to bond with the mother. So breastfeeding is one way of making it happen. And it's the first milk that the baby gets from the mother is like the first immunization, the colostrum, which has the vitamins and minerals that are required for the baby to be able to resist any infections. So that helps the baby to stay healthy.
Right. Okay, James, being a man and being someone who is also working under the Children's Emergency Fund with the UN, what is the role, what is the place for men in breastfeeding? And I don't mean the actual process, the physical process, but the journey, should I say, in itself, the role that men should play, perhaps in support.
Yeah, thank you very much. When a mother gets the baby or delivers, one, the government has given paternity leave for 10 days. And that is basically meant to allow the man or the partner to be next to the wife during this critical period. So there are several things that a man should do to facilitate the mother to successfully breastfeed. One is being there for material or physical support.
Right.
That is quite critical because most mothers fail to breastfeed successfully because of stressful moments during that time. So by virtue of the man being around and being able to address those few challenges that come along is quite stress-free, relieving for the woman. More importantly, this is a time that man should be able to provide, because most of the stress factors is when the mother starts feeling, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this. So the man should be able to provide most of those immediate needs that the mother needs, so that the mother has this comfort, is able to concentrate with the baby. So that provision part is very important. The other thing is when a mother delivers and is expected to be with the baby 24/7, there are those other chores that the mother is expected to do. All right? So the man should be able to do those chores to allow the mother to breastfeed.
Right.
All right? Yeah.
Do you think 10 days is too small? It's not enough for a proper paternity leave, compared perhaps with maybe other countries and other places where maternity leave is equally probably a month or the same 3 months that women are given?
All the time we have been, but first of all is to acknowledge that the government recognized that there is a role that a man should play. And I think we need to congratulate that. But equally, in the same measure, we want to tell them that is not enough. But I've always been, when we are doing this work, I've always been challenged. First of all, let's account for the 10 days that the men have been given. And we have gotten challenges and complaints from women that during this time, these men are supposed to be with us and they are not with us. So first of all, is taking account of those 10 days that have been given. But I agree with you, 10 days are too short, and we will continuously advocate for more, probably even 1 month to start by.
Gladys, when breastfeeding, you tend to see children staring up at their mums. What is that? What does that do? What does that do in terms of the relationship between a mom and their child when that breastfeeding process is happening and there is that eye contact?
Yes, that's the time the mother is actually bonding with the child is bonding with the mother.
Right.
And the mother needs to respond. So you find when a baby is breastfeeding, when they look at the mother, and the mother is looking away or doing something or making faces that are not, good for the baby is upset. So a mother should be looking at the baby too, so that they bond. the baby is able to understand the mother. The way the mother behaves is the way the baby wants also to be. And we tend to think those small babies don't understand, but they do. So that's why we say that the mother should be looking at the baby, smiling, responding, and making the baby active so that the baby can grow not just physically, but emotionally and even mentally, because they feel happier, they feel protected, they know the mother is around them. So it's a very important thing.
All right.
Yeah.
And what is this concept of wet nursing? Is it new? Is it popular here in Kenya? Would you guys advocate for it? But first of all, help us understand what wet nursing is.
Wet nursing is when a mother is not able to breastfeed and another mother is breastfeeding for her, but that mother maybe does not have a baby.
Right.
But that's not a concept we are continuing with. It was there traditionally. And our great-grandmothers, our grandmothers used to take the baby and breastfeed if the mother is not there, so that the baby feels loved, what I'm actually talking about, the bonding. But also it used to help the baby to grow at least like other children. But that is not being encouraged now because of infections. And therefore, we would rather go for milk banks or milk that is stored.
I'm glad you brought in the aspect of the human milk bank, which we saw Nairobi governor vouching for it. James, do you think that this milk bank will perhaps help in Kenya being, should I say, a better nation when it comes to breastfeeding?
Sure. Just to add on what Gladys has just said, as I come to human milk banking, is that the requirements that are needed now in the recent world to have another mother breastfeed your baby are very high. For example, because of the infections that Gladys, my colleague, has talked about, you have to be sure that the precautions that the mother would take not to pass any infection to the baby are the same high standards that you expect this other mother to exercise. And therefore, those procedures, for example, mother has to be tested for several things, HIV, hepatitis, then it becomes too intrusive. And therefore, as a government and as a sector, it's not a practice that is being exercised anymore.
All right, because I would love for us to take a quick breather and sort of digest what we are quickly learning and also allow our audience to do the same thing. We're taking a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back. We'll talk more about the human milk bank and what is being done to make sure that breastfeeding across the nation is a much friendlier process. Stay with us.